Welcome again to the Power of Women in Politics. If you think that that's an exaggeration, you couldn't be more mistaken. Ask any candidate who did the work, who knocked on the doors, who made the phone calls, who stuffed the envelopes, who carried the petitions. It was the women, the precinct committeemen, all the volunteers that really put the wheels under the wagon. And we're so proud to be able to introduce some of these women to you. Now today we're running with 3 candidates and then a special guest I know you'll learn a lot from. And there's a lot to learn from her. So you're going to enjoy it. This lovely person beside me is daughter number 1. Well, I can never remember their names, so I had to number them. She was here first. So daughter number 1.
Like I like to say, I was the original one, but my sister calls me test batch.
Yeah, well,
and I call her leftovers.
Okay. Well, I just call you both my beautiful daughters.
Well, I thought for this series I would call myself, my name is Doris, her daughter. That's my
Doris,
last name.
her daughter. Yeah.
Doris, her daughter.
Yeah, no hyphen.
No hyphen.
No. Okay, that's good. Well, let us get on to I want you to imagine an angel with a spear and a shield, because that's the best introduction I've got for Anastasia. You're going to love her. Doris, tell her us.
Well, I will. Our first guest is Anastasia Tsatsakis, maybe, I think. And she's on Zoom. We're going to go to Zoom call right now, and we're going to talk to her about what she's doing. She's in southern Arizona. She can't be with us. She's kind of far away, and she's holding down the home fires. Hi, Anastasia.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, you bet. So remember, we met at the Reawaken tour, right?
Yes.
And we sat next to each other. We had a good time that day. You made it so much fun. You and that cute guy you were with were laughing so hard. Do you remember that? Oh man, I was like,
yes.
I wanted to be in on whatever joke you guys were telling. I wanted to know what it was about because you guys were laughing and having so much fun. But we also had fun, and I learned that
he's my bodyguard, by the way.
Yes.
He bodyguards me when I'm out.
Oh, anytime. So yeah, we were talking. You are running for the school board in Vail, right?
Yes.
And you are with the Vail Freedom Fighters of Arizona.
Vail Freedom Fighters and the Freedom Fighters of Southern Arizona. There's actually 2 that I founded.
I see. So tell us a little bit about the Freedom Fighters.
Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you in the short form how we got our name.
Yeah, okay.
It was after the April 27th meeting that was in 2021. That was the shot that heard around the world here in Vail. Everybody pretty much knows about it. But what happened was our superintendent was doing an interview with one of the local newspapers, and he had called us a group of freedom fighters.
Mm-hmm.
And I read that and I thought, well, I didn't know we had a name, but I guess we have one now. So that's how that came about. So
cool.
I named it Freedom Fighters of Southern Arizona.
And what is the shot heard around the world?
April 27th, 2021. That was an infamous evening for our small community here. What happened was we were going up in front of the board to let them know our displeasure in the mitigation strategies that we had already been going through with our children for over a year. And this particular meeting was to be discussing the ongoing mitigation, or we were hoping at least to stop the mask mandate. That's what we were aiming for. And the board realized that they were being overrun. I didn't realize at the time that there was about 200 people standing outside, or more than that, I guess. I was one of the original people inside the building with my husband, my son, and a few other people. And we were going to fight the mask mandates with everything we had. I was just a mother with her son and her family there that night. I didn't know anybody else really, except for maybe a couple of people out of that whole group.
Wow.
The board bailed, they got scared, and they ran.
Wow, they just
From
left the building like Elvis Presley?
They literally left the building.
Wow.
Elvis left the building that night. All of them
crazy.
did, except for the superintendent, who decided to stay, along with one other board member, I think. But then they didn't have a quorum, so there was really no point for them, except they were just going to try to pander to all of us that was there. And then they were cherry picking students that they wanted to listen to. They were just trying to say, okay, we're only going to have this amount of students come.
Wow.
But I was against that. I didn't believe in the cherry picking. I thought if we're going to be here, they're going to hear all of us or none of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, you guys doing that, it was happening all over the country that way.
Yes.
People were up in arms about it. So that first night, that was kind of a victory for you guys, probably. You looked at it like, well, at least we got him on the run, right?
Yes.
And then what happened? Then you started getting in running for this and running for that, and now you're involved a lot more, aren't you? That's cool.
Yes. What happened after that night is I ended up submitting my letter of intent to the superintendent's office in Pima County to be a school board candidate. And I have been in the race since, I think it was probably that first week of May 2021. And I'm still in the race. And I was one of the original people to get in the race. And no one else can claim that but me.
Yeah.
I have been fighting ever since. I have been in front of the board. I've been in their online town halls. I've been in front of them. We never gave up. We have not stopped. What the shutdowns did for our schools is exposed the extreme, horrifying view of what our kids are really being taught in school.
Really?
Everybody understands that. That's apparent. They heard it online. They saw horrendous things online. And that opened the door to this. We really knew that there just such awful things going on. It was just horrendous. We needed to stop it. And that night of April 27th was the catalyst with which other parents across the country decided, you know what, if they can do it, we can do it too. And that was the uprising.
Yeah. That is
We
so
never
great.
condoned violence, though, against any board members or anything. We never had any of that here. I know there was some of that across the country, but you know what? It raised the ire of these parents who are desperately trying to shield their children from illegal activities of our government.
Absolutely.
And from the school boards themselves being complicit with these mandates, which we all know you follow the money and you go to the ESSERs and then you go to the COVID money, which is the ESSERs and all of this. So it was just really just a horrendous thing for all of us to go, and we're still going through it, and there's a lot more, and we can go through that.
Yeah, okay, well, we will.
I applaud you for running, and it takes a lot of guts. My husband ran in 4 elections, and it's so hard to run and then hear the things that your opponents are saying about you, and it's such a mistake because, like it or not, the worst Republican is better than, the worst Republican is better than the best Democrat, because at least it's a republic and it's not a dictatorship and it's not a one world order or anything like that. We really have to stand up for it. I'm a president of a women's Republican club, and I tell all of our members every meeting, vote bottom up.
That's what she was just saying. Yeah, she was just saying that.
The farther down the ballot you go, the closer you get to your front door, where you can make the biggest difference in your own life. It's where you have the most power. You can get a stoplight on the corner. You can get garbage pickup changed. You can do all kinds of things, but that's where the Democrats are coming in at these low offices that nobody's paying any attention to. Oh, well, they're all the same anyway, aren't they? And no, they're not. Well, yes, they are, really. So we don't have to worry about it. And then they take over from the bottom up, and it's really scary. So vote bottom up.
Yeah.
Vote
Yes.
That's the word.
Absolutely.
That's what all of us Republicans are saying nowadays. Thank you, Mom. You started it. For me, though, personally, you're the first one to say to me, start at the bottom of the ballot and work your way up from there, because it's in our own backyard. So I don't think anybody believed that any parents were just coming in starting out violent, and I think everybody understands any parent that does get violent, it's for a really good reason. So so how many people have you got in your coalition for Freedom Fighters of Arizona? Southern
We've
Arizona.
got a little over 500 right now.
That's great.
Online, and it's growing though because I have multiple platforms. We're on Telegram, and we still have our Facebook page. My Vail Freedom Fighters is a private group just for Vail parents and things. But at the end of the day, personally, I'm on social media, and we're getting out the word about stuff. And we've had numerous events down here in Pima County where we've invited numerous candidates down. Because vetting candidates is super important.
Yeah.
We don't want this to be a case of, I didn't know who to vote for and I just picked somebody. We can't have that anymore.
Exactly.
But to speak to the lower levels, the lower level is what drives the bus. If we can't fix down here, we can't put good candidates up going forward. And we have numerous conservative candidates for school board down here, and we are forming our own coalition actually. But my Freedom Fighters of Southern Arizona is about 500, but there's more than that actually. There's a lot of them that may not like the page, but we're across the country. We've got numerous groups and organizations that we've been working with, namely Purple for Parents. I've been endorsed by Purple for Parents. I was endorsed by our local board of supervisor for my district, Steve Christie,
Nice.
which I'm very happy about for both of them. And I am one of the candidates, Cherie Sapir also has endorsed personally. So I am very thrilled with that and honored and humbled about that. But we as school board candidates cannot do this job without the help of our communities. My number one mission is to re-engage the communities and the parents and make them understand how important this is.
It really is. And I introduced you as an angel with a shield and a sword, and we've seen the edge of the sword, and we support your fight, and we hope that you don't need the shield, but if you do, you have a lot of like-minded people that want to help. So all you have to do is let us know. We have a platform here that reaches many, 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 many people, and we can help you with any of those kinds of fights. So please keep us in mind. Hub does a great job. They really do a great job.
Thank you.
I really will. And they can go to my my online platform, Anastasia, the number 4, Vail, is V as in Victor, AIL.com. That's my website. Even if they don't live in my community, they can certainly donate to me because we're getting ready to launch our marketing campaigns and ads and things. But they can also vote for me if they're in my community, but they have to be within the school district and a registered voter to do so.
Great. Gosh, good work. You know, you started a fire. You started a fire, and then it's burning strong. And I know
they
the
call
best.
me Firewoman for a reason.
They do. Perfect. So I know that the best way we can really make change is by doing exactly what you're doing, is running for office. And you're one of those mama bears who's come out of her cave roaring and ready to fight for your children and the country, because you know, it's been a 6 years since Donald Trump got in office. It's just been this onslaught of terrible things happening, and I don't think that's what any of the American people really wanted. So we have to take control again, so we can remind everybody, or remind the people that work for us, that they work for us.
God is great, and I want to thank my husband and my son for being my ultimate fans and supporters, because without them, really, I cannot do this, and without God's help and prayer, I cannot do any of this. And
Great.
You guys have been a blessing, and I really, really appreciate the platform. Thank you so much.
You got it. We're going to have you on one of the other shows, the Backstreet Gossip or Fighting Back,
Ooh,
next
okay.
week, I hope. But
Yes.
there's somebody here now, and I wanted her to get on with the three of us. So we're going to
Okay.
take a quick break. Don't go away, and we'll be right back. Power of Women in Politics.
Freedom of speech is guaranteed by the Constitution, but not by the government. There's a good chance that you will be the target of surveillance professionals at any moment. To preserve your privacy and liberties, DEAF, the Defense Enabling and Assisting Framework, offers protection from intrusive eavesdropping by using the following methods. 1. Cloaking your calls and text messages from being seen or heard by agencies and hackers. This includes a wrist phone that's synced with your existing cell phone number. 2. Tablet coverage. If your tablet has its own phone number, DEF can cloak it too. 3. Call forwarding. DEF coverage can continue during call forwarding regardless of the number used to facilitate the forwarded call. 4. Location cloaking. The government tracks your phone via global positioning satellite. Your location is obfuscated using DEF. 5. Satellite blocking. DEAF stops the bugging. Why should anyone know your pulse or your blood pressure? These additional services do not interfere with everyday phone use. Each service is $120 a year, or only $10 per month. The primary cell phone service must be purchased to qualify for the remaining options. Existing DEF customers may opt for the additional 4 at any time. To subscribe, sign up at DEAF, that's defprotection.com. Again, that's defprotection.com. Privacy is freedom. So ask yourself, Can they hear me now? With deaf, the answer is no, they can't.
And we're back, and look what we've added to the show.
Look at it's Paola.
It's Paola, and she's an amazing candidate, and you're going to hear all about it. You're going to love her, like we do.
Yes, but first we would like to say, there she is, Anastasia. Paola,
Hi,
Anastasia, Anastasia, Paola.
Hi, Paola. Nice to see you again.
Anastasia, how nice to meet you.
So thank you for your telling us your story. We are going to have you on another Hub show next week.
Yes.
But
Yes.
so I did want to discuss really quickly that we're all experiencing, a lot of Republicans are experiencing, candidates are experiencing some lockouts in some areas of debates and what have you. And I know that you both have been experiencing something like that. What did you tell us what you're going through, Anastasia, down there in southern Arizona?
We don't get, being nonpartisan as a candidate, we don't typically get assistance from our parties. They can probably do something on the back end, through our legislative districts and things of that nature, and our PCs to be able to help us out, as well as other organizations that are allowed to promote candidates like me. But we are not getting the support that we need. There's no way. We're getting locked out, and there's only certain candidates, even in our local forums for state, house, and Senate. A lot of them are being locked out too, and you're going to have an opportunity to meet them as well, and they'll tell you their stories.
Great. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So
Where are you, and what location are you? Cochise?
I'm in Pima County, in Vail, Arizona. I actually had an opportunity to see you speak at one of the regulators' meetings.
Really? Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
great. So so it's not just you, it's not just one other person, it's a lot of people out there, huh? And so what we should do is form our own coalition and
Agreed.
And get the word out on our own, because we can complain about it, but if nobody's going to do anything about it from that angle, well, let's just beat them at their own game.
I can make the uniforms.
You can?
Yeah.
You can? Okay. All right. So
My husband's a graphic designer, so if anyone needs any help with that department, we
Oh,
can get him
perfect.
involved too. He did all of my
Perfect.
stuff for me, so
Great,
God
yeah.
bless him.
And you were right. We need we need the strength from the bottom, because that's where we need the change. School boards, critical. And they should not be locking anyone that has a voice. You should allow the people to hear the voice, right?
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
What is this
Absolutely.
country? We talk about censorship. We talk about swamp. We talk about corruption. Well, you know what? It's always been here. It's still here, and I think it's getting worse. All right? It's controlled. And when people don't have a right to be heard, and if they want to serve, and they're being locked out, it's an injustice to the Arizona people, to the American people, right?
To freedom.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Hub Radio Phoenix is an internet-based podcast platform providing numerous special interest programs reaching over 100,000 viewers per week. Hi, I'm Ron Lutters, executive producer of Hub Radio Phoenix. We don't pretend to be journalists, but we're not afraid to say what's on our minds. We thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing to Hub Radio Phoenix. Stay tuned, stay faithful, as the best is yet to come.
To freedom.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. I've been locked out. I've been locked out of Maricopa. Should I?
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you. You should allow the people to hear the voice, right?
Right.
Yes. Absolutely.
What is this
Absolutely.
country? We talk about censorship. We talk about swamp. We talk about corruption. Well, you know what? It's always been here. It's still here, and I think it's getting worse. All right? It's controlled. And when people don't have a right to be heard, and if they want to serve, and they're being locked out, it's an injustice to the Arizona people, to the American people, right?
To freedom.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. I've been locked out. I've been locked out of Maricopa. Should I?
Yes.
Okay, the change. School boards,
right.
critical. And they should not be locking anyone that has a voice. You should allow the people to hear the voice, right?
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
We're
What
all-
is this country?
Absolutely.
You know, we talk about censorship. We talk about swamp. We talk about corruption. Well, you know what? It's always been here. It's still here, and I think it's getting worse. All right? It's controlled. And when people don't have a right to be heard, and if they want to serve, and they're being locked out, it's an injustice to the Arizona people, to the American people.
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you. I came out, I filed the paperwork, a friend's filed for me, and the first 4 months, and at the same time as Carrie Lake, within a week. And then I knew she was running. And my friend says, Paula, you're a good businesswoman. We need business people in there. And first 4 months, I said, what the heck am I doing? It took about 4 months to finally realize, you know what? Maybe I need to step up. Maybe I really need to put the energy in. So last July, I started speaking August. But you know what? I couldn't get into Maricopa. When we scheduled, they didn't have any space, any week, any time. Couldn't get in there. All right? Started probably end of August, where I started to get meetings. And I got more on the outskirts. Seldom in Maricopa. I'm locked out.
We had you at our meeting.
You're right, but that was when? January, wasn't
A
it?
couple months ago.
It was, yeah. So people would say, where have you been? You know what? I have been out. I've been to Chino. I've been to other areas. But they controlled Maricopa. And Maricopa's big for governor.
Yeah.
Okay, what do they do? What do they do? They announce, press picks it up. You know the fix is already in before you start. Mm-hmm. They put Carrie Lake, celebrity, they put her there. Then we got Matt Salmon, politician. Then you have Yee, another politician, which she now backed out. Then you've got Karen. She was in politics, and she wants to make more opportunity. And then you have Gaynor, all right? And I think he was involved with the legislators. He contributed some things. So they had an awareness of him. Now think about it. I'm a business person. I'm not visible. Sorry. But you know what? People have to hear a voice of someone that's able to contribute and can do it at this time in their life. Okay? I'm able to do it. I can do it. I've made my money. I'm not going in and I want the opportunity when I'm in, they put me on a pedestal. First of all, I don't look to be on a pedestal. All right? I look to work. And that's what we need. We need people that know how to work, know how to get systems in place, understands financials. And we don't have that. You know, even Salmon knows nothing about financials. He can spout off as congressman how many bills he fought. No, you know what? There was one bill. What is it? What's that bill that oversaw the Federal Reserve, the banking industry? What's it called? Siegel?
CPAT, what's it called?
The Glass-Steagall Act. Okay. He was the one that voted against getting rid of it. He wanted to get rid of it. 99 they did. So now what happens with the banks? They did whatever the heck they wanted.
Yeah.
Hedge funds did, Wall Street did, and what happened in 2007? You know,
Yeah, they did it again then.
they did it again. All right? So corruption is still here. It's coming back. People have to know how to run a business. And someone says, for example, it was an event with Carrie Lake 2 days ago. And I was talking to a women's group. We all had a turn. All the candidates were there. And I said, you know what? We need business people. We need to get in there and look, audit, which has never been done, especially in education. See where the money's going, and then where is it misappropriated? And when they need money, we put it in the primary years. And we need to work on the curriculum. And I said, you need a business person to evaluate this. We need real people, not someone that wants to go in and make an opportunity for themselves. Okay? And that's what's happening. I've made my money. And you know, the people now that are there, they go in there, they can't even get a job someplace else. I had someone call me and said, can you donate to my campaign? And I've donated to 4 or 5 people, and I'm thinking, well, I'm a candidate. I know I have more money than them, so I gave money. But then this one said, by the second sentence, Paula, you people don't know this, but I've been on unemployment for 6 months. Now, this is a person that's going to manage a county that's going to spend our money. This is the people we have. You know what? You succeed, you make your money, and if you want to serve, please serve and make a contribution to our state, to our country, and do it right. We need business in there now. We need people that care. We don't have people that care. You know, it's become a big club. Why?
I think it's always been some kind of a club. It's definitely like the other groups that sort of that survive among themselves. They keep they know what's going on, but everybody else isn't really hip to what's going on, and because there's not many avenues for information that come out of these groups, like different fraternal organizations. We don't really know. There's some secretive things that go on. Politics is one of the big things that it's. I mean, it's in our face all the time, but we don't really know how it works. And so people speaking up about it, regular people that are running for office that are just calling it like they see it, they're telling the truth. You can probably believe those people more than you can about the people that say the same things with a smile, look really slick, and you're like, well, I guess that's, because that's the way it is. It's not the way it is anymore. Politics is changing. The American people we're changing the face of the politics, and I think that's what the founding fathers meant. They meant for us to go in, serve, and go back home. Just do our jobs, and then look out for our country, and put our time in and go back home.
How do we stop the corruption that exists? It is so massive. Why would they choose the GOP Kelly Ward? Why would she already choose the person she wants there? Why? Another puppet they can control? Best friends? First of all, I have a policy: no family and no friends. You're running a business, don't cloud your judgment, okay? And I'm really good in systems, organizing financials. And I would go to every department and I can recognize if we are overstaffed. How do you systemize it? Those are the kind of people we need. You need people like me that have the ability to serve and don't want to succeed through the power they get, personal success. The success is for our country, our Arizona. And if you want to do it, you have the ability, you can do it, you should.
Anastasia, are you there still? She go? She's timed out? Well, we're going to get back with her again. That's Anastasia Tsatsakis. And but thank you, Anastasia. When you watch this, you'll know we were with you. We were kind of talking to you, but now we're talking to everybody.
Do it.
So, but thank you. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk to her more because she's got some other people that want to speak up and want to get on the show and tell their stories. And I think we would really do well to put together a couple of events that are going to raise awareness for the conservative Republicans. Like Constitutional Week is coming up September 17th for 1 week. I think we should have some events packed into Constitution Week for the constitutional Republicans and for the conservatives.
Constitutional Republicans, it's like they're using that title or the verb, whatever, that statement over and over. But what really is it, huh?
The constitutional conservative is what they're calling themselves.
They are, but are they? That's what my question is.
Well, that's what you have to research. They put on the hat, they say the words, they buy their palm cards, they hire their people to run and knock on doors and stuff. But you've got to do your homework. Where did you come from? Why are you here?
Exactly.
What do you really like? I had a get together of CorpCom, and we had like 6 of them there. And I didn't say, what's your slogan and how are you better than... I said, if you didn't have to be here today, where would you be? And if there was one thing you could do to change the way you raised your children, what would it be? If there was, do you have any pets? Do you like dogs? Because you're going to find out more about their character because they can't prepare for those questions.
That's right.
And they don't have those slick answers. So you're going to find out who they really are.
You're right. Last night everything's prepared. We were sort of in a debate. The questions were asked.
What was it like? How did it go?
It was good. And I thought I probably wasn't as strong as them because Gaynor got up and I'm going to put tents at the border. Before that, I said, tents are not going to work. People need to know the truth. We have a right to arrest, but we don't have the right to deport. Federal government does. And so how are tents going to work for 100,000 people or 200?
They're still going to have to feed them, and we're still going to have to
Well, think of the
give
human
them
waste.
medicine. And
How about that?
Sure
Huh?
sounded good, though, didn't it?
It does. And people are clapping. I'm thinking, what are people buying into? It's not financially, physically possible. And so they have to be distributed. You know, the only thing that's going to work is to cut the rot off at the top. The top is the problem. Administration and Congress.
Yep.
They need to change the statute as soon as possible and say, we're shutting this door. And then they have to have the Border Patrol work with our sheriffs.
But remember, and don't forget, because they obviously have, that the federal government works for us. It's states' rights. And when we tried to do 1070 and they took all the teeth out of that, that was the bill that could have changed it.
That's right.
But they made sure that they left us some little dribble. Okay, well, you can check IDs for Arizona candidates, but not federal, because we can still elect a president if they just walked in and said, "See, I'm a citizen. I can't write my name, and I don't understand English, but I'm going to vote." No, you shouldn't vote.
That's right. How many people can we arrest, even if we did arrest? They said, you know, like Gainerwood said when he was running, I'm going to put trespassing sign along the way. What are you, please, where are you going to put these people? I asked Danelle, how many are in your jail, your prison? About 320. That's all I can accommodate. And I said, we're feeding them? They're in air conditioning? They have a place to sleep? Can you send these back? No. And he says over 75% are American citizens. These are the people that are working with the cartels. This is what our administration has created. A partnership.
Intentionally.
Huh?
And they've created it intentionally. They're bogging us down. They're weighing us all down with added debt, added burden, and they're doing it on purpose because a country divided cannot stand. We are broke. We're going to end up broke. We're going to end up fighting each other, and we're going to end up. And if we're all busy looking at all these distractions they keep providing us, we're not going to notice when they keep passing more laws that are taking away more of our rights. And pretty soon we're not going to have a fair election or even an election ever
I
again.
want to correct something.
Yes.
I made an allusion to the Hispanics, but they're coming from 111 countries.
Exactly.
You know, but
111 countries
know.
are coming here.
Only
and
$10%?
they talk about how awful America is. The Democrats, America was never great. All that. Open the doors and see which way they run. And they're running here
That's
because
right.
this is still the greatest country on the planet.
And I know that the Latino people, they're not, even if they are coming in free or whatever, I think anybody with two eyes that work can see that this whole administration is they're, like we call them here at Hub TV USA, Pino, president in name only. That's who we have in office right now. I feel like they're a bunch of hoodlums. They got in, somehow they got in. They took over. They cheated in the election. And they stole it. They got in office, and now they're wrecking everything intentionally, just because they're really trying to come after this country.
You know
I'm
what,
just calling it like I see it.
We have criminals.
Everybody knows this.
We have criminals in the leadership, corruption.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's also in Arizona. And that's why I'm running. People say, where have you been? You know, I've been there. I've invested $1.4 million on advertising. I'm on 10 radio stations.
You haven't told them where you came from. We kind of skipped over
Yeah,
that.
I'm so
hello
sorry.
everyone. No, that was our responsibility. This is Paola Tulliani, everyone, as if somebody doesn't know who you are anymore now.
If you look at
Everybody
my sign,
must know.
it's Paola Tulliani Zen.
Zen.
Zen is a Northern Venetian name. We came from Italy when I was 7 years old. And I came from a town 40 miles from Venice. And Bassano del Grappa was a town where the Nazis were stationed, and they filtered through to France. They took over the entire town. And they took all the food from the people. People were starving. And my father, after the war was over, even after 8 years, it still did not rebuild, okay? It didn't rebuild for maybe 15, 18 years. So he applied to come to the United States. I had a cousin here. And we came here. 7 years old, we came to Chicago. And Chicago, I went to Catholic school. The nuns tutored me. I was very advanced in math, okay? I knew how to write. I didn't print. They taught us very early on, like preschool. You're 3.5, you're going to preschool. They start teaching you the alphabet, how to write numbers. And you know what? When you're young, you capture it. That seed is planted, And you know what? You can't remove it. That's what Lennon says. Give me your child and put a seed. Plant the seed that will never be removed.
Yeah.
But let's plant the good seed. And that's why I'm so for education. Smaller class sizes, tutoring. So I've learned from my life experience. And then the empowerment came not so much from my parents. I love my parents. My mother had food on the table. They worked hard. My father worked hard. But you know what? It was the nuns. It was the nuns when they said, you know, you're special. You're going to do great things. Just dream. Just keep going. But that's what we need. Unfortunately, today we have so many broken families. But when they go to school and they find that one educator that gives them that empowerment,
Connects with them. Yeah.
makes such a difference. I've heard people, adults, says, I had that special teacher.
They change lives.
They changed lives.
There's something else my mom has always said about her life. My mom she had her pilot's license before she could drive, and yeah, she's just done these. And she said one of her things she says is, I never said no to my life, and you strike me as the same type of person. You
No.
never said no to your life.
No, and I was in a women's business event, and they had one question: how can we get more financing for women? Okay, I said, okay, I was the first one. No one really, they skirted the answer because there is no answer. I said, it took me 14 years of my business. I built La Dolce Vita Biscotti Company. I struggled. I had challenges. I had to go through many obstacles.
Is that the cookie company at Starbucks?
Starbucks, Costco, we did Godiva.
Oh,
Oh, I love those.
yeah, we eat
say,
them.
say it again.
La
I
Dol-
remember the Dolce Vita,
La
the
Dolce
sweet life.
Vita,
Yeah.
the sweet life,
Yeah.
yes. And God gave me the sweet life now, but I worked hard. I worked hard. There's many times you think you're going to fail in business. And I said, I got my first loan after 14 years. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to get a loan. When you make money, you're going to get money. You're not making money, you better finance your home, you get it from relatives, whatever you have to do, you build your company. Do you think you can go in and say, I got a great idea, I'm going to open up a dress shop, but mine are very unique. Do you think the banker wants to know here? Yeah. No. They want to see that you're making $100,000 profit, and they may give you $25,000. So I was very direct. And I said, but you know what? I said, if you have that fear in your stomach, you go right through it. You come right through and do what you believe, because I never looked at, again, they talk about diversity in there. Are they empowered as women? I said, I never thought of myself less than a man. What I believe I can do, I did several times in my life. And I said, that's what you have to do. And then the man asked me, is there an incentive as a governor that you can give to the bank? I said, you know what? I'm going to have to circle back on that with you. And then they laughed. I mean, because really, some of these questions, there isn't a special program, and there shouldn't be. Because banks are not going to, you wouldn't give money to someone if it's a risk.
Or just because they were a woman,
Even your family, you shouldn't.
The
Okay.
analogy was you stand in front of the fireplace and you say, when you give me heat, I'll give you wood.
Ah.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
That's
doesn't
right.
work.
And so the women after came up to me and they said, oh, you're just empowering. I said, just go for it. You keep working and somehow, and I said, one thing the bank used to ask me, put a business plan together. I did the business plan. I scared the heck out of myself. Okay? You know what? I said, just go for it, because what you think your plan is going to do in a year, that business has changed. It has evolved to something else. And it keeps evolving and evolving because you're going to be creative.
Especially now.
Right? You see, you start with a product and all of a sudden you see there's a demand on another one. Or you go a different way and direction in marketing. You're changing as you're working it. And so at the end I thought, again, maybe it wasn't, they were more evasive, and I thought, I put it out there, but the women came up to me and said, I loved it. That's true. It is. You got to face who you are and what you want, and the bank will come, but you've got to create something out of what you believe in. That's it. And I've always believed that. I won at everything I did. I excelled. I was number one at everything. Joe Arpaio says to me, why do you want to be number one? Why don't you be number two? I said, Joe, I'll tell you something. I've won at everything in my life.
This is one Italian to another.
That's right.
Yeah.
Italian.
Joe,
you know what? I said, unless you're number one, you cannot lead, and you cannot make positive changes for our state. And I have to be number one. And he says, well, people don't hear from you. Yeah, I'm locked out in Maricopa. They've decided already who's going to be governor, but people have to go deeper. Today, we have to look. Who...
Be very, very careful. Be very scrutinizing. We all need to be really, really
what
careful.
is the agenda? Some of the things they're saying, they repeated what I've been saying for a year when I did go to events. Align with governors. Push Congress. Now they're finally saying it. You go on their website, it's on there. I heard it last night from Karen. Oh, we need to align with governors. That was never their position before.
Yeah.
You know what? When we have rotten at the top, you have to attack that. We don't start trying to defend our border, we'll have a massacre. We cannot arrest them. There's no place for them. So the government knows that. The feds, the administration knows it. Go ahead, arrest 100,000. What are you going to do with them, right?
Feed them, clothe them.
So, Paula, the
We
governorship,
couldn't even do it. We'd have a human catastrophe.
the governor of Arizona leads the country in a lot of things. We lead the country. For my favorite and number one thing on top of my list is that we tell the federal government to take a hike. That's what Arizona's always been really good at, and we're leading the country in the election audit. We are leading the country also in wokeness with the ASU having a campus. Did you know that ASU has a campus in Washington, D.C.? Yes. ASU has a campus in Washington, D.C. Why?
I think of Governor Brewer shaking
Jan?
her finger at Obama.
Yeah, but you know what the story was about that?
I know.
She wasn't telling. She said, "Did you read my letter? I sent you a letter." She was going like that. And
I know,
people
but I
think
like the visual.
Yeah,
That's funny.
People interpret it.
Yeah.
She was scolding him.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but you liked it.
Yeah.
But you know what?
So that's a big job, and I think that having a sense of business, what you said when you said it the first time I heard you say it, I thought it really struck a chord with me. You're so right. Why run for something that you're just going to be told what to do by the person that that's in power, that is number one, that has the power to make change and to do things. So if you put trust in the person, if you believe in them, you want them to be able to do something about, like, that's what they're telling you they're going to do if they got in. If they don't get in, the person that does get in isn't going to probably tell you what they're doing, especially if they're rhino. If they're a rhino. But yeah, you can make changes. You can be a leader when you're in the top position.
Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
I love that.
They're going to put you in the swamp, and you can't do that. I'm going to fight for Arizona. I know I can make changes, especially with this inflation. Okay, you need somebody who understands how to maneuver things. You know what? The other thing, how about endorsements? You know what? I don't have one endorsement. You know what endorsement who called me a few weeks ago? The Marijuana Association. They what do they want from the governor, right?
Well, if they endorsed you, though, you would have a lot of people. You'd have a whole new base of people that will vote for you.
But they're all stoned.
No, but they'll probably be able to make it to the polls
But
because
here's-
I'm sure they see what's happening in our country too. Just
But
like
here's my
everybody.
point. What do they want when they endorse?
That's right.
How are they going to control that position? I don't want an endorsement. I go to these meetings. I'm endorsed by Joe Arpaio. Joe Arpaio's a good friend of mine. I'm not asking him for my endorsement. In fact, one meeting he says, "May I ask you a personal question?" I said, "Go ahead." "Are you dating Joe Arpaio?" I laughed. I said, "He wishes." So anyway, and Joe Arpaio calls me, "What's this going around that I'm dating you?" I said, "Joe, you wish." I said, "I've never put it out. We're friends." But you know what? Joe has not endorsed me. I'm disappointed. Trump came out and endorsed. But again, is he making the swamp bigger? Trump pulled the trigger too soon, and now he's endorsing.
I don't think it's him endorsing. I think it's his people. His people aren't as connected as they were before. I think he's still a good man, but I think he's left some things to his people, and his people aren't as connected. They don't know what's up there, and he's endorsing the wrong people. A couple of them,
He's
anyway.
made some bad decisions as far as staff and endorsements, and
He was still our best president to date. Yeah.
You know what? We love Trump, but I'll tell you something. If you've got to use Trump's name to do your job, you cannot do your job, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's in Trump's word. He said that to an employee.
So, what are your top three most important things that you'd want to do when you get in office?
Well, first of all, we got to get inflation. It's going to hit us like a ton of bricks. Okay,
It is.
It is.
We're spending approximately $400 more a month, which adds up to about $5,000 a year more right now.
That's
Right now.
Yeah, but it's going to get worse.
Yeah, I know it is.
We got to see what we can control. You know, also the housing market's a big problem now. How in the heck did we sell all this land? And tell me about water shortage. I've went to so many meetings. It's all over the place, okay? But I think when I respond, I said, get everybody at the table. I want to hear from the engineers that I've talked to. I want to hear the ones that says that there is underground water. I want to know what the cost would be to pipe it in from Missouri. And
Yeah.
desalinization, forget that, because I already know the water bill is going to be 3 times. Okay, and we're going to get it from Mexico. We're not in control.
That's why this is a great country, because we have everybody from diverse. They have their own backgrounds. They have their interests, and they get into their business, and they come up with their own solutions for things. They have their interests, and they have come up with their own solutions. We have so many people running for office in this state right now. Only one person's going to win, maybe 2. The rest of the people they wanted to serve. They're ready to go. We shouldn't just let them go away. We should put them in our cabinets, in our offices.
Did you see the Kentucky Derby?
Because there are some good ideas
when
for the
people
water
says you're
and
not
stuff.
out, came in last. I
Yeah.
didn't come in last. They didn't allow me in. But you know what? People have to research. People have to look. If they want to stop this, if they want to fill in this swamp and they want to stop this corruption, they've got to go deeper this time. Don't believe what is you're being told. I can imagine even in some of these debates, some of the stuff that's being said, and they're clapping.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's all prepared. Well, you can get the rhetoric, but you know what? You need someone that can do it, and I can do it. And I was at another show, Billy at iHeart, and an afternoon show, and he says, "Are you upset that now they've taken your idea about aligning with governors and fighting with?" And I said, "No, Billy. You know why? The person that creates any idea can execute it. They will not be able to visualize and execute how it's going to be done. I am able to negotiate. I know how to fight. I am a resourceful person, and you know what? I fight for my position. I fight for my home. If Arizona becomes, it is my home. If it becomes under my leadership, there is nothing that's going to stop me. And there's going to be, at that point, the media is going to be with me. They're either going to fight me or be with me, but the voice is going to be out, and that's what we need today."
I think, I've learned this just since I've been at Hub TV about business putting a business together and being successful at it teaches you so much about life, and it teaches you how to interact with other business people, and business people all give each other their respect to whatever your idea is. Nobody's going to knock it because in this country, in this country, there are no rules. You can make money doing what you want to do and make money at it. And I think that in business, we have people running that are using their own money to get there because they really want to run, and then you have people that have too much money, and the problem is that they're using these publicity people or these agents that are established. They're doing things like that. Things have always been done, and they're referring to them. So they're giving the candidates these things to say, and it's the same thing that it's always been. We need people to maybe the people that aren't like $20 million in their campaigns and stuff, because they're hiring people to do the commercials, and everything looks great. It's the same old slick stuff. I don't think anything's going to change when we keep doing things the same way, expecting different results. So we need to look to our younger.
That when I go to now finally some debates, I'm included.
Good.
But you know what? Carrie Lake doesn't show up. She accidentally showed up on one. And I think I won that position. Okay, she doesn't want to be in any debate with me. But you know what? Why should she? Why should she risk her poll numbers? Why, when you're on top, why would you risk your poll numbers if someone, newcomer or not, I'm not a newcomer, but someone is going to actually have solutions? Okay?
Well, yeah, why would she? She won't. And
But
so it's to her benefit to not play fair. But that's why we're going to get together. We're going to put a couple of events together, and we're going to raise awareness for this part of the party that needs some more awareness and some more attention. So all of you out there, our viewers at Hub TV.
The power of women in politics was started for.
That's
just
right, Mom.
exactly that reason.
That's right.
We're going to give Paola a chance to sum up her platform and her direction, why she knows she can do the job, and then we're going to go to a commercial.
Yeah, well, and then we're going to tell us your website right now, how we get in touch with you.
Go to my website. It's zforarizona.com. It's ZFOR Arizona.com.
Is it the letter Z or ZEE?
The letter Z.
The letter Z for Zen. ZForArizona.com. And you're welcome to call me with any questions. Write in. You know what? I'm coming out strong. The race begun what? A month ago. We got the ballots in. But you know what? I didn't get free publicity. I was invisible. I'm not a politician. We don't want that anymore. If I'm able to serve and I have the ability and the experience and I am a protector for the state, then you need to look at me. You do. Because we're going to save our Arizona. All right? And there's so many facets to this. I mean, there's so many issues we have in our country, but even Arizona. We have business issues, employment issues.
Water, the border, the schools.
Well,
yeah,
tell
it goes
me,
on
you
and
know
on.
what gets me? The water.
It's all intentional, though.
How do these apartments that have thousands of apartments get a 100-year certificate of water? And we're complaining that we don't have water. I'm going to get everybody together, and I want the truth.
What about the high density, the building in high density and right in the downtown area?
You know
They're
what
ruining our
You know what I want to do when I'm
cities.
governor? I want to have once a month an hour show. And I want to tell the people all the good things that are happening, what bills have been passed, because then legislator and Senate, they have to move. They have to get things done. The people have to know. You know, and I don't even use the word transparency because it's never been there. Who started that transparency? Obama? Did we get it?
Yeah.
All politicians go, we're going to have a true transparency. No, you go and hide. I'm not going to hide. You're going to be able to find me.
That's
And
right.
you know what? It's for the people. Why am I? Maybe I have only 4 years, but in 4 years, I'm going to do what a good person can do in 8. But we haven't found a good person yet.
And we all need to come together as Americans. It's not really about the left. It's not really about the right. It's really about saving or conserving, what we have, what we've always had in this country. That's why conservative is the key word for anybody running. If they're not a conservative, you should doubly check them out 3 times. Vet them extra hard.
Well, here, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent. You know what? We all want the same thing.
Yeah.
We want to succeed in business. We want our security. We want what's good for our family. But we have divided this country so badly. And you know what? I'm one that wants to bring people together. I'm a great negotiator. And you know what? We got to bring our Capitol, our Senate, everyone in line. They have to work as a unit. I don't care what party you're in, because it's a job. And you've got to do your job. We've got to make things happen for Arizona.
Mama, thank you, Paula. I love you. I think you're great. Mama, tell us about the difference, your analogy of the difference between a Democrat and a Republican.
Oh, well, if a Republican doesn't like a restaurant or a school or anything, they just don't go there.
Yeah.
Or they don't buy it.
Right.
Or they don't recommend it to their friends.
Right.
If a Democrat doesn't like it, nobody can have it. Nobody can go there. Nobody gets a choice. Nobody, it has to be my
shut
way.
it down.
Shut it
That's
down.
it.
Yeah, shut it
That's
down.
right. We don't shut it down. We want our freedom.
yeah.
No, censorship is not,
We're not for centralized government.
We shouldn't be. Absolutely not. And there's things we can change in Arizona. And a business person will do that. A comment that was made by Carrie Lake towards me, well, Ducey was a businessman. Look where it got us. And then when it came back to me, I said, don't you compare me. I said, first of all, I started my business ground up. There's a lot of hard work, sweat, obstacles, suffering. And I said, I've learned everything I needed to learn to run a business. He was a franchise salesman, okay?
He was kind of it was given to him. He has
I don't think there's anything to be gained.
by bad mouth.
But yeah, we can talk about what we can do. We can talk about what we can do better.
Yeah, but the
But
problem...
we are hurting. We are hurting each other, and we are giving
Yeah.
all the ammunition the left needs to crucify us.
Well,
But the thing
No, listen.
if we get a
she
voice.
she bashed me, but the thing
I
is,
know.
I stand on my own. I don't want to be
I know.
compared to the ex-governor or anybody
We
else.
can't stop the Democrats from having a gun, but we sure as hell don't have to load it for them. That'll do
That's
it for this
right.
break.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Don't go for any gun control. Gun control is bad. Any gun control. I think we should give every American a gun in this country. Everybody. If everybody had a gun,
Oh, the way
they'd be a lot more polite.
we're morally broken.
Yeah.
We need to secure our family.
It's
We
going
need
to take our
protect-
guns away.
That's right. They're not
Thank you for
taking-
joining us here. This is our first episode of Power of Women in Politics. Mom, thank you. It was your brainchild, and we started it, and then things went crazy. Dad fell, cracked a rib, and the country went
Times
nuts.
four.
Yes, 4 ribs. Okay, but
He did.
and he's healed up now. COVID came and COVID left, and I hope it's God. The things coming out about Fauci, I'm not happy about it. He got COVID. I'm not happy about it. But they are coming after him with the money, and I'm so glad. I knew it was all a scam when COVID hit. I said, what did I say? I said, this is not right. This is not, something doesn't feel right, and it wasn't. And now we're healing up from it. This country, we're gonna make it if we get our hearts in the right place and get on board with the
And
right
get the
things.
right leaders.
It
Yeah,
is
the right
always-
leaders,
the problem
leadership.
It is always about money. You
Yeah.
have to look at who's getting the money.
Yep.
Why are they doing this?
Yep.
And a decision was made by Ducey to get rid of the mandate when he was pushed in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
When we had health care providers not working.
He kind of let us down there a couple key times, I think.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Anyway,
So anyway, this is Paola Tulliani, and on behalf of my mother, Judy, Lawrence, and on behalf of myself from you, thank you for having me, bringing me into the world.
It was quite an
Because
ordeal.
now I sit here and I get to act like a boss. I'm not a boss. This is Doris, her daughter, reporting from Hub TV USA. And thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Next Friday, we're going to tape, and we'll be out Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Look for us. We're going to stream it live. Thank you for joining us. Say bye, Mama.
Bye, Mama.
Bye. Say bye, Paula. And we'd like to say hi to Lori Z, who we're gonna get her back on.
And it was great meeting Anastasia as
Yes,
well.
it was Anastasia Tsatsakis. You can look her up for Veil Freedom Fighters for Arizona.com. Thank you.